The door isn't locked and nobody's guarding it. Nobody's stopping you and you are still not leaving. And that's the part nobody wants to talk about because it's a lot easier to blame a lock than admit that you got comfortable standing still. Welcome to Articulated Illustration, where we see things from unusual angles. I'm your host, Dwayne Richardson Sr. This podcast is sponsored by me. But if you want to invest in purpose and build something together, let's make it happen. Now, let's get into today's conversation.
Word of the day.
Familiarity is comfort built through repetition. And not because something is good for you all the time, but because you have done it enough times that it stopped feeling like a choice. It's like it's automatic. It just started feeling natural, just like you. Now, let's hold on to that for a minute. There's a character from the old 50s TV show called The Andy Griffith Show, and the character name is Otis Campbell. And Otis had a system. When he drank too much, he didn't get arrested. I know, sounds crazy. And he didn't get chased. And he didn't get dragged in. He walked himself to jail. Unbelievable, right? But let's think about that. He will walk through the door, take the key off the hook, and step inside of the jail cell. Then he will reach back out, hang the key back up, and lock himself. Then he'll lay down. He'll go to sleep, wake up the next morning, unlock the door, and walk right back out. No guard, no force, no resistance, just routine. And at first, it's funny, comical, and that's how the show plays it. But if you really sit down, that's one of the clearest pictures of how a lot of us live. Not trapped, not stuck, not even blocked. Just used to the cell, used to the pattern, used to going back to the same place. And even when the door was never locked, and the hardest part, it doesn't feel like a prison. It just feels good, comfortable, and familiar. And that's the dangerous part about it. They say the truth will set you free. Well, I'm hoping I'm like Otis and have my own key, because what I'm about to say is real ugly and it hurts, but I have to keep it real with you. Because if I can't keep it real with Dwayne, I can't keep it real with nobody else. Mine doesn't look like a jail cell per se. Mine looks normal. Sugar, shortcuts, tomorrow, I'll do better. But if I'm being real with you, I'm struggling and I haven't completely walked away from that. I'm still catching myself, reaching for the same things I already know lead nowhere. I'm still having those moments where I know better and still have to choose differently anyway. And not because I'm forced to, because it's familiar and it feels good, believe it or not. And that's the part that bothers me. How can something truly feel like comfort when it's just really repetition? Now, yours might not look like that. It may look like a relationship that you keep revisiting, a conversation you keep avoiding, or a version of yourself that you keep defending. Different details, same exact sabotaging pattern. Some people just don't stay in the same pattern. They start introducing themselves with it. Check this out. I've never been disciplined. I'm bad at consistency. I'm always running late. I'm bad at math. That's just who I am. And oftentimes, we get taught this, believe it or not. But it just sounds casual. But it's not. Because every time you say it out loud, you're renewing the lease on it. And at some point, it stops being something that you fell into. And it becomes something that we agree to keep. Yeah, we sign a mental agreement, whether we know it or not. And we talk about how hard it is to change, but we don't talk enough about the cost of staying. Because staying feels easy. Let's be real. There's no risk, there's no discomfort, and most of all, there's no resistance. And we know as humans, we hate resistance. But over time, that easy starts collecting interest. And one day, you look up and you realize the price of staying the same was higher than leaving ever was. And do we have that mental currency to deal with that? Freedom isn't loud, and it's not always a big moment. Sometimes it's a random Tuesday. Nobody's watching, and you almost do the old thing. But guess what? You don't. And that's it. That's the point. There's no music, no revelation, just a quiet decision that nobody claps for. And guess what? And then you do it again and again until one day you realize that you haven't been back in a while. Now let's bring it back. Familiarity, comfort through repetition, even when it's costing you. Most people who feel stuck aren't trapped. They are practice. Practice at the pattern, practice at the story, practice at staying. So here's the question. Where in your life are you choosing what's familiar over what's actually better? And is what you've been calling that's just who I am actually you? Because that door is probably already open. And that's it for today. If this hit you, share it. And if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. And if you're on audio, follow and download. And if the door is open, just don't stand there. And always remember to do what's absolutely necessary every day. And keep illustrating your life. Why? Because it's your dream, your vision. Keep the pen in your hand. And until the next illustration, we'll talk later.